Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Hey, welcome back.
Yes, and welcome new listeners.
Yeah, probably.
To the Editor's Note Pomics. That's the second time I've done that tonight.
Pomics.
Pomics, the Editor's Note Pomics.
This is professionalism at its finest.
Yeah, it's us right here. Mostly me. Well, big weekend, big show here this week on the Editor's Note Comics Podcast, because I'm not involved in a good chunk of it.
Yeah, you had a scheduling conflict.
I did have a scheduling conflict. Well, when you name dropped and said, hey, we're going to have Kevin Eastman on the show this week, can you hang out on Saturday to talk to him? I'm like, that would have been really cool, except for I already had football scheduling conflict. So, spoiler alert, Kevin Eastman on the show this week.
Yep, if you want to get to that part of the show, if you don't want to hear the ramblings of an insane man yelling into nothingness.
And me.
I'll put a timestamp in the description if you just want to skip ahead to that. I don't know why you would. I mean, people are here for me, right?
And me. They're
You
here
included.
You're the old man yelling at the cloud, and I'm the cloud.
So yeah, that happened, and, you know, ahead of time, I brought all the equipment in. I have contingencies. The night before, I double-checked stuff. The day of, I double-checked everything.
Was this face-to-face?
No, this was over Skype.
Okay.
He's in California.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what you did over the... I mean, people can fly to California and back.
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
I make a couple of calls in the morning, double-check the recording is all good. Don't touch a thing. Make sure that this is going to go off without a hitch. Smooth as can be.
So the moment you got it all set the way you wanted to and didn't touch anything, you should have known you were in for trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That it immediately fell apart.
So
instantaneously.
So how, like, was there just technical issues on your end?
I think. I don't know.
Did Eastman get mad at you? Was he like...
he was wonderfully patient with me. And then actually he ended up staying, like, super late compared to the time we had scheduled. So, yeah. It fell apart immediately.
Our second big name on the show. Second big name guest. And I wasn't there for either of them.
I hit record and just flatline. Like, why? Why isn't it... It's dead on arrival.
Had you ever talked to him before?
I've met him, but I mean, not really.
Were you kind of in awe? Were you having like a hero worship moment? Like, oh my God, I'm talking to Kevin Eastman? And he's talking to me. He's made time in his life for me today.
No, first I was hit with panic and then rage at the recording equipment. It all worked out.
Oh, excellent.
It's actually, it's a decent interview. It's just...
Well, excellent.
But it's good. I'll put a timestamp in there.
I'm glad that you're bringing some legitimacy to the show finally. I've tried so hard for so long to be the legitimate member of the show, and I'm glad you're carrying your weight.
My 15 minutes of panic.
Yes. Now you know what I go through every week for an hour.
That being said, let's do what we do every week. Let's get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Oh yeah, by the way, I had a really good weekend myself. The team played well, competed. A lot of things to fix and correct, but that's what practice and preseason's for. I had an enjoyable day on Saturday. Thanks for asking.
I think you just spit in my mouth a little.
Well, it serves you right.
Okay.
For having just sitting there with your mouth open, agape, if you would.
Damn mouth breather.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, the Defenders came out, finally. And at the very end, as now as expected, a teaser trailer for the next show is out, and it's The Punisher, and it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's a sledgehammer hitting pavement, concrete.
And he's just, like, saying some kind of, like, dark motto about, like, the devil who comes... Like, he's just whispering dark nothings to himself.
Also, a lot of people die in this trailer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of death.
Yeah, that's what he does. I don't know, we'll see. I enjoyed him a lot in Daredevil, but I don't know how well he's going to be able to carry 13 hours by himself.
We're about to find out.
It's supposed to be in November, but I don't know how much I want to watch like a guy like gruffly go this, like, my family's dead.
I asked where Dolph Lundgren was, and you looked at me like I had two heads, and then I had to remind you to watch that terrible movie. Yeah.
What I want them to do is like take some of the sillier Punisher stories and do those, like, because people think it's going to be like the dark and gritty one. How about you do The Punisher in Space? If you read
Fighting dinosaurs? Because that's your thing.
If you read the description on it, it just says, like, it's exactly what you think it is. It's The Punisher in space. I'm like, well, you're delivering what you're selling, so I appreciate that. Or do the time he died and was turned into a Frankenstein monster. That's a weird one. Or do the time he was black. Not that there was a black Punisher, that they turned him black. That didn't last long.
I don't have anything to say to that.
That would be amazing. If if they brought back just the worst Punishers.
What if they had the guy playing Luke Cage just, cameo one episode as the Punisher?
Well, it's not the same because he's a different guy.
Oh.
No, they literally turned him black.
Oh, like they've
changed the pigment of his skin.
They comic book blackfaced him?
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Yeah, that was the 90s.
Well, the 90s were awkward,
Good
but
times,
wonderful.
the 90s.
Yeah, I love the 90s.
I don't know, that's coming in November. He was good before, he'll probably be good again, but I'm a little annoyed that Netflix is going back to the 13 episode thing. 8 felt nice. It felt brisk.
That's half the time.
Bad math, but yes, less.
Well, almost half the time. A little more than half the time. 8 hours is much more manageable than 13.
Yeah, because I feel the need to binge these shows because people come in, they're like, oh, what'd you think? And I have to have it done.
I did not binge. Well, I kind of binged. I committed 3 hours to it. And then was completely
just putting it all up front. I didn't watch the whole thing, but you watched it.
I watched a chunk.
You watched almost half.
Yeah, I watched.
With your math.
Yeah, well, three out of 8 is almost half. It's more than a quarter. More of Luke Cage than I watched, and certainly a lot more than Iron Fist.
Rumors this week that there's an Obi-Wan spin-off movie in development. This has been long rumored, but now it's actually getting some traction within it.
This is the movie you're looking for.
Yeah, supposedly it's being done by director Stephen Daldry is the guy who's going to be the front runner for it. No word on Ewan McGregor. They're saying, like, well, it's unconfirmed if he's signed or not. Like, of course, if they're making this movie, of course he has to be signed.
Well, it depends on when they're making it. Is it going to be Obi-Wan before he becomes a Jedi, or is it going to be Obi-Wan while
No,
he's
stop going
Tatooine?
back in time. Stop going back. Only go forward.
Well, we can't go forward in time because Obi-Wan's dead.
I think this would work. I mean, you got Ewan McGregor, 10 years removed? More than that now.
So you're saying Obi-Wan as, it's Obi-Wan's time on Tatooine?
Just do a Western with Obi-Wan.
On Tatooine?
Yeah, but he has a lightsaber. That's it. Just do a Western. You don't gotta go far.
Is he bringing Law and Order to the Mos Eisley Cantina, where you'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy?
I mean, he's probably gonna cut off an arm.
Everyone loses an arm.
Yeah. I mean, he'll do it.
I've seen it.
But that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd be cool. I don't know.
That'd be cool to see somebody lose an arm, or it'd be cool to see Obi-Wan in a Western.
I mean, if it were me, that's what I would do. If I was like, all right, lower budget Star Wars, we got Obi-Wan, we're on a desert that he really can't leave because it kind of takes away from the whole exile and watching over Luke thing if he goes off on a quick space jaunt.
Yeah, probably.
Probably has to stay there.
It's also cheaper to stay on one planet.
Yeah. And the desert. Everyone loves the desert.
Sand, it's coarse and irritating. It gets everywhere.
That'd be hilarious if Obi-Wan said that. Like, if they just threw that to call it back.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, it gets it's just people would lose their minds. It'd be amazing. That's it for movie news.
That was short and easy movie week.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok trailer 3.
Yeah, the international one. You see Doctor Strange for a quick second. He's just in there. He's like, hello, I'm Doctor Strange. Goodbye.
Fate has dire plans for you. Also, the trailer I saw had it was an Asian trailer.
Yeah, the international one.
The international one. And I like how it's like the last words are like Battle Royale. I'm like, doesn't sound like Ragnarok at all.
Yeah, close enough. Oh, I forgot because I didn't write this down. This literally just happened right before we were going to record. There is more movie news.
Yes?
Let me pull this out because this is a weird one. Coming from Deadline.com.
Okay.
Supposedly, there is a Joker origin movie in the works with Hangover director Todd Phillips directing and will co-write a script with Scott Silver, who did 8 Mile. And here's the producer on it, Martin Scorsese.
What?
I wonder if it's like, is this April Fool's? The director of The Hangover with the writer of 8 Mile, being produced by Martin Scorsese, are making a Joker origin movie.
Jared Leto?
Probably not. And this is I wanted to pull this out so I could read this verbatim, so there's no confusion. Well, I'm already confused, but this will be the first film under a new banner that is yet to be named, in which WB can expand the canon of DC properties and create unique storylines with different actors playing iconic characters.
So it's like a DCEU?
And I guess it's supposed to be...
Actually, there's already a DCEU, so it would be a DCEU, an expanded universe?
I guess...
A DCEAU, DC Expanded Alternate Universe?
The guy who's reporting on this was saying that it's, supposedly not connected to the other stuff, but who knows? This might be in line with things that we've heard rumors of, if DC is going to be doing kind of some Elseworlds movies. The Joker seems like a bad place to start, mostly because we just had a terrible Joker movie, but like if we then go off and did they've talked about doing Superman
Okay,
Red
was
Sun
Suicide
for
Squad
while.
a Joker movie? No. I don't like that you call that a Joker movie.
Look, it's a movie.
Yeah, but it's not a Joker movie. Joker's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade. It's a Harley Quinn movie.
But if they do Elseworld stuff, I'm all for it. I don't know if I'd start with a Joker origin.
I think it's interesting. I kind of like the thought and the approach here.
I don't know. That's weird news.
It's weird news, but I like the thought here. And let me flesh this idea out, right? With comics, there's so many different things that can happen. There's different offshoots, different storylines, and people take characters in different ways that might not necessarily pull into the mainline canon, correct?
Yeah.
So why not maybe expand upon that movie universe then? Marvel obviously has this giant plan where everything they've done is all tying together to one big thing and has a central storyline everything's flowing through. Don't get that sense yet from DC, but why not do something different? We already have a giant movie franchise that all has a central storyline and a central plot and a central destination. Why not just have a bunch of just episodes or story arcs or runs, be like instead of a run of a comic, it's just a movie. So like maybe instead of having like a 6-run Joker, 6-issue Joker run, you're yawning, you don't like my idea. 6-issue Joker run, just make a Joker movie.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Doesn't have to fall in line with canon at all. I kind of like it. It's fresh. You always say you want something different. I think this has an opportunity to be something different.
Yeah, I think it was if they said anything other than a Joker origin movie. You know who I don't want the origin of? The one guy whose origin shouldn't be told.
Oh. Fair.
Bunch of comic news this week. In a weird turn of events, a new Marvel title, which is returning from its, I don't know, the grave. It's not a triumphant return, but Not Brand Ech is coming back. That used to be Marvel's attempt at a comedy strip. And I say it like the art's really, like Jack Kirby did the art and that's really funny. But the script was always awful. Like they were just things that weren't jokes. Like, okay, we have the Human Torch. We'll call him the Human Scorch.
So it's like the dad joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
It's like dad jokes, the dad joke books of comics.
I just read, to kind of refresh, I read a couple of them. I'm like, my God, these are just as bad as I remember. We have Reed Richards. Let's call him Weed Witchards. So,
very.
These aren't jokes.
That's very Elmer Fudd-like. Speaking of Jack Kirby, isn't his 100th birthday right around the corner?
Next week.
Oh, see, I pay attention to the tweets that you send out.
Oh, yeah, because I wrote that article.
Yeah, you did that thing on the internet.
Oh, yeah. I got paid for that. It's a good time.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. They'll have a comedy book out that won't be connected to anything, I'm sure. But I don't know. It was kind of terrible before. Maybe it will be fine now. Probably not. I think the funniest thing I saw was there were like two goats running along. One of them was like, hey, look at that. The other one's like, I have problems of my own. And they're just goats running through a field. I'm like, that's so random. I think that's hilarious.
But you know what? The goats probably do have problems of their own.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I like it. It's situational irony.
I don't know. So Not Brand Ech is coming back. Hooray.
You seem so enthused and excited.
I'm not.
Okay.
Bunch of images came out this week. Showed you a few of them.
Yes, you did.
With the current DC Metal series, we saw the reveal of The Man Who Laughs, which is Metal has been introducing dark universe versions of Batman. So there's like a Batman Flash, a Batman Doomsday, a Batman Cyborg, and now there's going to be the Batman Joker one called The Man Who Laughs, which I'm sure is a very direct play on the movie that the Joker was originally based off of, starring Conrad Veidt in 1930 or 29, I can't remember now. Where he played the inspiration for the Joker character with his prosthetics. It was supposed to be the first talkie horror movie, but his prosthetics were so extreme we couldn't actually talk through them, so they're like, silent it is! Went on a tangent there. Anyway, we saw The Man Who Laughs. Dude likes a lot of leather. He had a lot of belts.
You know, belts are important. They keep your pants up.
He had about 12.
They give you a thing to hang your weapons and sinister devices off of.
Kind of reminded me of the Mouth of Sauron from Return of the King.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Teethy,
oh, yeah.
And he also has 3 vampire Robins who are apparently into some light BDSM with the chains around their neck.
Maybe that falls in line with the belts. I don't know.
Good. I like where you went.
Thank you.
You took a thing, you made it weirder.
Well, you lit up when I said that. Your face got really excited.
Like, oh, he said a funny thing.
Thank you.
Tell me more of BDSM. That's why people come to this show.
Yes. Hashtag.
Please don't. I like the character design a lot. And I think it's enhanced by those creepy little robins on chains.
You got to keep those creepy little robins in check.
I guess. We saw the first images of the Doomsday Clock covers were released. There's one where they're just holding up your good old signs like the end is here. And then we have one with a giant Dr. Manhattan behind Superman who's disintegrating into clocks because Dr. Manhattan's powers are everything.
Dr. Manhattan can do what he wants, include walk around naked.
He can do that.
Well, if you were a giant blue guy who didn't have any pants, you'd walk around a lot too, wouldn't you?
Well, I guess if I didn't have pants, what choice do you have? You make it sound like he's incapable of getting pants.
I mean, he kind of wears clothing at times, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he just prefers to be naked on Mars.
He just gives up eventually. He's like, I don't care.
You know what? He's in every guy. Think about that. How many people get home at the end of a hot day like today and they're like, you know what? F pants.
I don't want to know what you do at home.
I get home at the end of a hot day and I'm like, you know what? F pants. And I sit in front of a fan wearing shorts.
Where am I?
I'm also not a huge blue guy with magical powers.
No, that's true. We also got a teaser image confirming that Rorschach is going to be back as well. Rorschach, who, spoiler alert for that comic that came out over 30 years ago, kind of exploded at the end.
Exploded is kind of a weak term. He was like disintegrated, vaporized.
Yeah.
Obliterated is another term that would come to mind.
His guts went from being an innie to an outie.
He was eviscerated.
Yeah, he's, I don't know.
He suffered irreparable damage.
Yeah. It was more than just a flesh wound.
Yeah, he bled out very quickly.
But yeah, he's dead. Either way.
Is he? Is he really?
Apparently not. I guess Dr. Manhattan's like, never mind. Bringing you back.
Well, that's...
Because like I said, his powers are...
everything?
Yeah, whatever. They're just whatever power he needs to have.
I mean, again, if you're a blue, huge guy with no pants on, you can do what you want.
Just bring back that homeless crazy man in a trench coat.
Hey, everybody needs friends.
Yeah. The series isn't out yet, coming out in November, but we got our first teaser image for Sean Gordon Murphy's Batmobile.
Looks good.
Yeah, he's a big car guy, and you can really kind of tell that a lot of work went into his version of the Batmobile.
It's kind of like a Y shape in the front, kind of an open concept. Real interesting.
Yeah, I like seeing all of the exposed parts.
Yeah, I'm down.
No, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be Batman White Knight, written and drawn by local main artist Sean Gordon Murphy, out in November. If you want to get your pre-orders in, because that's due now.
Do you think that's going to be a big run?
I've ordered a pretty good chunk of issue 1, but yeah, I'm expecting it to do well. We'll see. I could be totally wrong, but I think it will do really well. I don't know what I'm talking about.
You seem to have a good grasp on the comic book world.
Not always. I mean, some things will sneak up on you. They're just like massive hits that you weren't planning, and sometimes you're like, this will definitely be a thing, and no one cares.
Oh, kind of like the song Friday by Rebecca Black. Come on, I know you're internet pop culture. It was that really
I know, but
song.
I know the song. I'm trying to see how it connects to my life.
I'm just saying, like, things like that sneak up on you. You don't ever expect it, and then boom, out of nowhere, there's this thing, and it happens.
Where you're saying the days of the week?
There's a lot on Friday. She also had a song called Saturday Night, I think, as well.
She was in that Katy Perry music video where...
Last Friday night, yes.
Yeah,
she was in that. Yeah.
I don't know why I know that.
It's okay if you like Katy Perry. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in it.
I'm more of a Kelly Clarkson guy.
Hey, you know what? Little column A, little column B.
I know we talked about it before, how there's going to be a new Thanos ongoing, and by new Thanos ongoing, apparently it's just going to be, it looks like a creative team change, because like, why are we starting over? We just did this. But the story is going to be about Thanos winning. What happens when Thanos wins?
Everybody dies. That's easy. Boom, story done.
So it kind of looks...
I could be on that creative team.
It looks like it's going to be set in the future, or possibly out of continuity. But yeah, that's the story. What happens when Thanos wins?
I'm pretty sure everyone dies.
I think that the teaser image they released kind of implies that, yes.
Okay. So is he just like sitting around and be like, we're like, what do we do now?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to kill everyone first.
But after he does that, is he going to sit around and be like, what do I do now?
Yeah. I mean, catch up on Netflix? I don't know.
But like you said, it's like
Space
easy.
Netflix?
He just like, snaps his fingers and...
Well, that's only if he has the Infinity Gauntlet. If it's just him punching things to death.
Oh. Well, that could be entertaining for a little bit. I mean, like watching Apollo Creed get rocked aroand by Ivan Drago, but... And
the last bit of news. Late news week, that's fine. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, we got a lot of things in the show.
Ed Brisson, who's currently writing Old Man Logan and one of my favorite series right now, Iron Fist. He's...
Not the TV series.
Yeah, not that. He's signed an exclusive deal with Marvel. I don't know how long the contract's for, but he's over there officially now.
With Marvel, full-time.
Yeah.
On board.
I never know how long these contracts are. Like, some of the exclusive deals, I think, can be bad sometimes. They take away things, but I mean, they're never, permanent exclusive deals.
Make it Marvel.
Make mine Marvel.
Make mine Marvel.
There you go.
I was close.
You were really close.
I was one.
Are you part of the Merry Marvel Marching Society?
No, I'm not part of the Triple MS.
That's the thing that Stan did.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't make that up.
Well, no, I didn't think you were. I don't think you have the alliterative prowess to do that.
Marvel Merry Marching Society.
The alliterative acumen.
That's half of Stanley's writing. How to make it an alliterative thing.
Like Doctor Doom.
Yes, like Doctor Doom. That was the perfect example.
Yeah?
I mean, it's everything. Peter Parker, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Bruce Banner, Warren Worthington III, Scott Summers, that kind of stuff.
I like it. Clark Kent, that's alliterative, even though it's a C and a K. It's the same vowel sound.
So not alliterative.
And it also wasn't Stan Lee.
That too. So wrong on two fronts.
Son of a...
But beyond that, so moving on to our new segment of exclusive interviews, I do want to intro the book a little bit. Kevin Eastman has a Kickstarter up right now. It's for a 4-issue graphic novel talking about a character, Shane Bookman, who is a semi-autobiographical version of Kevin, and kind of an amalgam of a bunch of different creators, and what happens behind the scenes.
Amalgam?
Not that amalgam.
Oh, okay.
And what happens behind the scenes in comics when you kind of like get too much fame too fast, like anyone else in any other medium.
Like us?
No.
Do we not have too much fame, or do we not get it too fast? Or do we have neither of those things?
No, we don't have fame.
Oh, okay.
People hear our voices. A good yeah, screw it. We're famous.
Yay!
We're pod famous. Are there awards for that? Someone nominate me. It's fine. You don't have to.
What about me?
And him.
Yay!
But yeah, that's kind of the quick gist of the book.
The other guy.
The Kickstarter is ending in, I believe, 7 days. I say 9 in the show. I'm bad at math. So hey. But that being said, here I am on Saturday.
You got a suit? And suit up.
Now an editor's note exclusive interview.
Today, I get to sit down with local Maine native Kevin Eastman, a man best known for co-creating the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevin's career has spanned over 30 years and had ushered a whole generation of fans into the comic book world. I'm lucky enough to get to talk to him about his return to independent comics. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Eastman.
Hey, how are you? Hello, my fellow maniacs and everybody else around the world. I'm sure there's people all over the world listening. But yeah, it's thrilled to be here, and thanks for taking your time out to chat with me today.
Oh, no, this is... Believe me, I'm excited to do this. The reason we're talking today is talking about your new project, Drawing Blood, which is on Kickstarter right now.
Yes, actually, Drawing Blood is a really fantastic idea. It's something that I came up with after, my many years of experiences in comics. Not only, I figured that I started as a fan, say for 10 years, and then for the last, 40 years, I've been working in and around the comics industry, not only lucky enough to be blessed by the Turtles fans buying all of those comics in the early days to what they're doing. Continue to support the project now, all the Turtle stuff now, but with Drawing Blood, I wanted to go back to my more independent roots, not only by doing a Kickstarter campaign and doing it as a fully independent project, because I laugh when I think that, essentially the first Turtle comic book was probably one of the first crowdfunding things ever, in that we borrowed some money from my Uncle Quentin and a few family members and spent every last penny that we had in our bank accounts to publish that very first issue back in 1984. So with Drawing Blood, I want to tell a very unique story in that I've never seen a comic book that's actually been set in a world of comic books, going through particular creators' experiences. And a lot of people are asking, for example, if Drawing Blood is autobiographical, and basically it is to a level of about 10%, because there is a foundation in that this artist, Shane Bookman, with his brother Paul, created these characters called the Radically Rearranged Ronin Ragdolls, these 3 samurai female cats that have some adventures. They had a lot of success, and Shane has sort of gone through it like a rock star might, but I wanted to set the story where it might be described as, if you were looking at entertainment terms, it might be like a bit of Breaking Bad meets Spinal Tap meets maybe a little bit of Amadeus and possibly a little bit of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Actually, that's exactly how I was thinking of it. I was thinking, reading the press release for it, that it's really kind of like Hunter S. Thompson, Gonzo style kind of storytelling. Like, you're telling a deeper truth by telling an exaggerated version of what happened in the past.
Yep, no, exactly right. And it's to me, it was so much fun, especially in the early days when Peter and I would do comics conventions and signings. A lot of times we'd end up in late night food joint or a bar at the hotel after Comic-Con, and we'd be sitting with friends that we met along the way from Stan Sakai or Steve Bissett or Rick Beach or Alan Moore or, on and on, and so many people had such fantastical stories of not only their experiences as a publisher, self-publisher, with publishers, experiences in Hollywood of, seeing their ideas go from the comic page to the big screen or the small screen, however you want to look at it. But I just love those adventures, and I said, this is, a kind of environment, a kind of world that's been rarely seen or rarely explained, and by creating this character Shane Bookman in what we call a fictional true story, it reflects on not only some of my experiences, but more importantly, experiences from so many other creators that I've known over the years, and even dipping back into some of my heroes, Jack Kirby, Wally Wood, so many other characters that built the industry that we all kind of stand on the shoulders of. I mean, those guys inspired us to draw and go into comic books, and even those guys in the early days under work for hire, things like that, they didn't get to have control over their creations or, profit from the success of those. So it's a little bit of everything. When people first look at the Kickstarter and the opening scene is where, Shane is having a showdown with some investors from Lithuania that ends up in a gunfight, and people say, is this semi-autobiographical? I'm like, yeah, only in the sense, I've never been in a gunfight, and I hope I never am, but I wanted to sort of show you a character that goes through some pretty interesting scenarios, probably leaning more heavily on the Huntress kind of stuff, which is totally fun.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me, I always get the impression that there's a lot of untold stories from, like, Frank Miller and all the early Image guys and the guys who kind of came up in the black and white independent boom of the late 80s that just never made it into interviews or all that. So I just kind of took it as an amalgam of all of those different kind of guys, but also heightened beyond what reality ever was.
Yep, no, exactly. And there is, everything has a foundation and has sort of a, again, you have the reality part, but then you have the fictional part.
I want to know who was in a gunfight.
You have to buy the book. No, but that was kind of the fun. The key elements. Whether you're talking about a turtle story or even something I choose for Heavy Metal Magazine. As publisher or stuff I've done so many things over my career, and I've worked with so many artists that you just if you have an interesting character and somebody that you care about, and you want to sort of become invested in that character and watch him or her go through similar life experiences. Because I don't care if you're if you're a comic book star, if you're a rock star, if you're a sports star, there are there are a lot of similarities in that path and that journey. I mean, success at a young age, too much money at a young age, life's experiences, but we wanted to put our own personal kind of crazy spin on it, but grounded. So there's there's stuff that even if I told you stories that you might see in Drawing Blood and go, well, is that one fiction or is that one real? And you go, well, that one's a real story that I heard from somebody, but it's so fantastical you'd never believe it actually happened to a person. But yeah, I wanted to put this experience, and it's all set in the world, like I said, it's set in the world of comic books, but everything we know, you as a fan, me as a fan, there's Jack Kirby's and Stan Lee's and Frank Miller's and Kevin Eastman's and Peter Laird's. We all exist in Shane Bookman's world of Drawing Blood, so it's just set in our planet. This is a fantastical sort of journey of this character that goes through some pretty incredible adventures that I think people are going to really get into. They'll see something they've never seen before, that's for sure.
So what's it like for you going back into the world of independent comic book publishing? Because you've been doing work for IDW for, the last 6 years. Your first DC comic is about to come out, but now you're going back to indie books. What's that like for you?
It's a dream come true. I mean, and I've been, way too blessed for most of my life, not only with the support of, the independence that, Peter had with the first Turtles comic books, and the fact that the Turtles are still as relevant today as they were, 33, almost 34 years ago. But, I as a publisher of Heavy Metal Magazine to, one of my greatest jobs ever was, coming back into being part of, I sold my rights in the Turtles probably 20 years ago. But being brought back into not only work on the IDW comic series, which, nothing will ever replace, what Peter and I did with the original Black and White series, but what Tom Waltz and what we've been able to do with the IDW comic series is the closest thing you'll ever come to that original series. Not only, tonally, attitude, it's really intended for an older audience, that kind of stuff. But I've consulted on the animated shows. I wrote an episode that came out, I think, 2 weeks ago, or last Sunday, Lone Rat and Cubs. I do a voice of Ice Cream Kitty, which is my favorite thing ever. I consult on the movies, but they don't really listen to me very much. I love the fact that out there, which is, what Peter and I did again in the early days. So going back to, I feel like I'm going back to my roots with this campaign and doing something that's a wholly original concept. It's going to be, an introduction to the world of Drawing Blood. It'll be a trade paperback. If you look at the Kickstarter campaign, you can go from anywhere from, $5 donation to get the first issue to $10 to get the first graphic novel as a digital download, or you can get it as a trade paperback in so many of the reward levels. But it's really a start on a journey that takes me right back home.
You mentioned it a couple of times, but I did want to bring it up because I haven't really heard a lot about it. Next week is Jack Kirby's 100th birthday, and next month you have an issue coming out with DC for the Commandy Challenge with Tom King. And I just wanted to hear about that because, for me personally, Jack Kirby is a massive, just personal hero, and for you as well.
Oh my goodness, yes, thanks for asking, because it really was, when Peter and I met in 1982, I remember walking into his tiny little studio in Northampton, Massachusetts, and he had a Jack Kirby original, a pencil page from The Losers when he was at his DC period, and I literally almost passed out because I'd never seen a Jack Kirby original before, and it was just the most fantastic thing. And not only, this speaks volumes about how cool Peter Laird is. He gave me that page many years ago.
No kidding.
It's still hanging in my studio. But he had the same effect on a lot of people. Peter and I, we bonded over Jack Kirby immediately. And one of my favorite characters growing up in Maine, I lived in a town called Crowville, Maine, which is outside of Gorham. It was, our downtown was a store that was also a gas station, and we had a stop sign. So sometimes I felt like, Commandy, the last boy on earth. But that was my favorite character. And I'd actually pitched DC a couple of years ago an idea of doing a Turtles Commandy crossover.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I love Commandy. It's such a great book.
Wouldn't that be awesome? So what was funny was that when I pitched the idea of doing a Turtles Commandy crossover, they said, well, yeah, let's put a pin in that. That would be fun. But why don't we do a Turtles Batman crossover? And I was like, oh my goodness, I never thought that, because Batman, in general, Batman were probably my, superhero characters. They were my favorites because I like they were sort of a bit more realistic than a lot of the other ones. So we did the Turtles Batman crossover, and then as we headed into this year, which is, like you said, Jack Kirby's birthday is August 28th. He would have been 100 years old. And DC talked to me last year that they said they'd like to put together this concept called the Commandy Challenge, which is different artists doing each individual issue, leaving it on a cliffhanger, and putting the next art team, writing an art team into figuring that out. And they teamed me up with the incredible Tom King. And so I was invited to do it, and not only was I so lucky that I got to work with Tom King, who's fantastic, but my old pal Freddie Williams, who was the Turtle Batman artist, had some time in his schedule, and we've been wanting to work together for a while. So I said, hey, why don't we team up, and do the Commandy Challenge together? And we literally just finished our work on it. I sent in the last pages to DC last Tuesday, so they're being lettered now, and I hope people dig it. I think the series has been fantastic, and I'm just so thrilled to be included in it. It's my ultimate geek out moment. I'm getting to draw freaking Commandy,
No, I've been loving the book so far.
Never thought that would happen when I was 8 or 9 years old,
No, it's been a great title. I hate looking at the sales. That book is not doing anywhere near as good as it should because it's amazing so far seeing all these creative teams, and Tom King is working his way up quickly through the ranks of comic writers, and having you on that book is going to be a massive thrill.
Awesome. Well, and again, it shows, the Kirby, the power of Kirby, how it's affected you and your fandom to, look, you have Neil Adams, and you have Steve Rude, and you have, Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, to, so many artists that have really done some amazing work on this series. I feel it might be, I don't know what the sales are, but I hope they're good, but it might be one of those sleeper things that I think people might look back at it later and really, see that there was something pretty fantastic going on here.
Now, I have possibly the most important question of your career. Last year, I did an interview with Steve Levine. There was a little front piece that Dan Berger wrote of one of the Tales of the TMNT issues, saying that there was a weekend that you and Steve had to pet sit Ryan Brown's bunny named Bunny, and that you two were too afraid to talk of the experience. Steve told a tale of macaroni and cheese and a poorly conceived book carousel. But I wanted to get your take on this rarely spoken of traumatic event.
Well, it's funny because Steve Levine, is my oldest friend from the early days. I mean, it was like when I first moved, I grew up in, like I say, Groville, Maine. I went to Bonnie Eagle High School, and then from there I moved down to Westbrook, Maine, and then, being a new kid, I was like a sophomore in high school, and my love of art, I would sort of, and it was a completely new school, and, going from a smaller school to a much bigger school, I was pretty intimidated, so I used to spend a lot of time hiding in the art room. And that's where I met Steve, because Steve would come in and, because he's quite, not quite talented, he's awesomely talented as an artist. So we kind of bonded over art, we get to hang out. So we've just been, lifelong friends. But he was the official first employee of Mirage Studios in that, I used to do the lettering. My penmanship was a little bit better than Peter's, so I used to do the lettering in all the early Turtle books. I think, my goodness, issues 1 through 5, plus a couple of the one-shots, that was all my hand lettering and misspellings, ha ha ha. But when Steve came in, we just needed help, and, so we again, being friends, we sort of brought him in to do lettering and help around the office, and then he evolved into not only doing the full color, the blue lines, and such a toy designer, and he's done so many aspects. But, we had lots of crazy adventures in our life, and Ryan Brown's Bunny, that was a funny adventure. I have to think of something funny to try to one-up that. My favorite thing, I guess I've had to set up funny Steve Levine story is when he first moved down to Connecticut. When we hired him, we were living, I think we were doing issues 3, 4, and 5. He used to have a yellow VW bug that had chop fenders, and the starter didn't work on it, so the way we'd have to, every time we wanted to go somewhere in his car, we had to, I got out and pushed, he got out and pushed, and then we'd have to jump start it before we went anywhere. But no, it's, Steve's such a great friend, and still lives in Maine. And next thing, what's interesting is with Drawing Blood is that we're working with the incredible Ben Bishop, who's also a local Maine boy, who's done some pretty fantastic, award-nominated projects. But Ben lives in Portland, Maine, and we talk and text and Skype as we're working on Drawing Blood, because he's the main series artist. He's doing all of the work in the regular issues, which, I'll do some of the flashback scenes, so I'll have a couple pages in each issue and a variant cover. But local boy Ben Bishop is our main local maniac. That's our main series artist.
Yeah, and he's done some covers for IDW for the Turtles run.
Actually, he's done a couple Turtle covers for IDW, and that was kind of funny. And actually, I met him at a convention for the first time. It was with Steve. He was hanging out with Steve Levine, and we sort of were just hanging out, chit-chatting about this and that. And Ben sent me a copy of his book called The Aggregate.
Was that Rhode Island?
Crowdfunded and published, which I think is absolutely stunning. He asked me if I'd do a quote to help bring awareness to his project. I said, well, I'll not only do you a quote, but I have this new project called Drawing Blood, and do you have any interest in being the main series artist? And we're lucky that he agreed, and so he's just awesome. We're pretty thrilled.
I know I gotta probably let you go soon, but
no
I'll ask kind of a selfish question for me personally. In my shop right now, I have the old life-size Leonardo back from the Words and Picture days, and I was kind of curious how the inception of that came around. If I have you here, I feel the need to ask.
Oh, no, that's fantastic. What's great about that is, like, when I, in the early days with the success of the Turtles, I dearly wanted to give back to the community that gave so much to me, so I founded, Tundra Publishing, and I did the Words and Pictures Museum and things. And part of the Words and Pictures Museum, I wanted to be a very interactive environment, so I commissioned this company to help build out some of these environments, and part of it was, this kids' interactive area that had it sort of replicated a New York City back alley kind of thing, and the Turtles were up on these building facades that were part of the gallery. And unfortunately, when the gallery closed, I basically just ran out of turtle money. Pete ended up buying them from me for his own personal collection, and then later sold them to Steve Levine, who had them in Shellback for a while. And I know that, unfortunately, Shellback closed for, I love, what a great store. And I know that closed, but I'm glad that, I'm glad they stayed locally in Maine. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm convinced I'm going to lose the thumb on him. It's kids' favorite thing to do, to come in and just yank on the thumb.
It's because that's so funny. And it's understandable, but because they were built, the company that built them, creates all kind of beautiful facades and figurines and statues for casinos in Las Vegas to theme parks like E.T. and things, so many other things, but they were made to be not touched. But it is hard for to have them accessible where kids don't want to get in there and say, hey, it's a turtle, and touch it. So
well, the poor guy doesn't have any legs from his original display, so there's a facade built to hide that.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm glad they're with you because you said you're Hollowell?
Yep.
No, I'm glad they're there. No, next time I'm in Maine, I'll come visit them, which is, it's so funny that, coincidentally, my dad, who still lives in Standish, Maine, just arrived here last night. He's come out here to visit us, and his grandson, our son Shane, is 11, so he's come out. So my dad from Maine is here visiting with us, but we try to get up there as often as we can, at least twice a year. Once in the summer, once in the winter, and then so I'll definitely come by and say hi next time there.
Well, I have to have at least, the only shop in the States to have a giant life-size turtle.
I love it. That's so awesome.
One before I let you go, I'll plug again at the end. But back in the old days, do you have a favorite memory from being at Mirage or thing that you wish you got to do that just never happened because of just timing?
Well, it was those Mirage days were some of the the most treasured and precious of my life, and that not only from the earliest beginnings of Peter and I sitting there passing pages back and forth and doing all those early issues to building out of the original crew, which included Steve Levine as the original employee, Eric Talbot, who was another fellow maniac, Ryan Brown, Michael Dooney, Jim Lawson, Dan Berger. So many people that when we had that company, working on the Turtle stories, working on Tales of the Turtle stories, working on the animated shows, and it was just such a brotherhood, such a camaraderie of, we sort of we looked like a bad 70s big hair band or something. I don't know. we all hung out together, but we just living the dream because it was like we all had the same aspirations of, hey, we get to draw and create for a living, and that's the most precious thing ever. But there's so many good memories of convention trips together, with the San Diego Comic Con or even a local signing in Maine or Massachusetts or New England. But what a great bunch of guys. And it's funny, I actually did a convention in my wife Courtney books. We do about 15 shows a year, and she booked us into a show in St. Petersburg, Russia this year. And one of the other main guests of the show was Jim Lawson. So I haven't hung out with Jim in a number of years, and to go halfway around the globe to hang out with Jim and his wife Kathy for about a week in Russia was the coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun.
No, Jim's a good guy.
Oh, he's totally awesome.
I'll let you go, but I do want to make, before you leave, and I'm going to do it again in the show, Drawing Blood, the Kickstarter, is, by the time the show comes out, it's going to be ending in about 9 days. It's not 100% there yet. It's getting there, but I want to make sure that people go and promote it. Like you said, if you want to go at the low end, you can get a minimum of $5, but also the reward tiers go pretty high. And it's a book that I've backed for the store, and it's something I want to see actually get in here and also have people be reading. It seems like a unique idea, which in the world of comics is always exciting.
Yeah, thanks. We try to get give a wide spectrum of rewards. We want to get. To me, it's like if you're going to do Kickstarter, you want it's one. I appreciate people that are joining at the $5 level, the $10 level, or even getting the trade paperback for I think a $40, $50, or $60 level, depending if it's my cover or if it's Ben's cover. Which then you get all of the other. You get the digital copies and the preview. Like for example, issue number 1 is going to be done by mid-September. So everybody that's joined at that level, that includes the preview. So by mid-September, you're going to get the first digital copy of issue 1 of the 4-issue trade paperback before, long before, 3 months before the book actually comes out in January. But we try to put it into where, we're offering everything from, a hand-painted Casey Jones mask with Soul to, cover ups from the current IDW series that I do that are actually been used as covers to original art pages to covers. And so we Turtle Pizza cookbooks signed, which are awesome. So we sort of want to give a pretty wide spectrum of opportunities. And then we're lucky that, like you said, our goal is $75,000 to fund the whole first trilogy, the whole first series. But we're close. The fans have been awesome. So we're, like you said, we're heading to the last 9 days. So if people want to take a look and see if there's something fun, like get your comic store as a storefront in Drawing Blood, that's an opportunity as well.
And the idea for this is it's going to be an ongoing story, right? This first trade is coming out, but then beyond that, there's going to be more stories.
Yes. Actually, David Avalone, the co-creator, and I, when we started building this world of Shane Bookman and Drawing Blood 2 years ago, because we've been developing it for about 2 years. I mean, if we were publishing a monthly comic starting right now here today, we'd have 3 years of monthly issues of worth of material. So it is definitely an ongoing thing. It's something we'd like to continue, and hopefully the fans connect with it and resonate with the character and all the behind the scenes, the things we put this poor character through. I think they're gonna dig it. But, I describe it too, and like you mentioned earlier, I think was to me it's kind of a Breaking Bad meets Spinal Tap meets Amadeus meets Fear and Loathing. So you sort of really get all of those wackiness from gunfights to gangsters and hookers and everything in between. All set in the world's comics. So it's,
Which one? I mean, there's been a ton of stories about, like, what if superheroes were real, but there's never that kind of behind-the-scenes look. So, I mean, for me personally, it sounds like a unique project, one that I'm happy to back through the store, and hopefully the last 9 days can get fully funded, because it sounds like a project worthwhile.
No, appreciate it, honestly. It's something that, one way or another, I'm going to make sure it gets done, but hopefully the fans have been, the outpouring of support has been fantastic, so I'm really confident that we're going to hit our goal, and, then it's all the fun stuff. It's like, once we hit the goal, then it's all about, the writing and drawing and creating and bringing this thing to life, which we're so excited to do.
I'm sure it's going to get funded, but I just want to make sure it actually gets all the way there. So, Kickstarter, Drawing Blood. Kevin, thank you for coming out. It's, I do my best not to fangirl out over things, but I've been a fan forever.
First thank you, and two, I always say that, quite simply, the only reason I have the greatest job in the universe, writing and drawing comic books, is because I've had fans like yourself and so many other people listening. Is that that's my greatest gift. It's humbling and such a blessing that I get to do what I've dreamed about doing since I was 9 years old, running around the backwoods of Maine, and still being able to do that at age 55. So your support, it means the world to me. So thanks.
It's easy to be a fan. All the Mirage guys, everyone who worked there and continues to do work on the Turtles, all seem to be genuinely good people. So it's very easy to be like, oh, I like this creator, I'll go support their stuff.
Oh, thanks. Well, they're great guys, and it's great. I see Steve at shows occasionally, and I see Jim, like I mentioned, in Russia. I saw Mike Dooney in San Diego, which is always great. Eric Talbot, we were at a show in Montreal, early July. Got to hang out with Eric Talbot and his wife Tanya, and so it's the connection will never go away. But what a great time.
Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sitting through all of the technical difficulties that, of course, had to happen.
No problem. That's so funny. Honestly, I joke about that. My iPhone still runs on coal or steam power because I'm that much of a technophobe. I just don't know. All of my drawing is still hand done, and I don't know that much about the technological stuff. But I appreciate you bearing with me as well, because but we did it. We did it.
Yep. Looking forward to seeing what's coming out. The rest of the IDW series. Commandy Challenge out next month, and Drawing Blood currently on Kickstarter. Again, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you.
I guess that'll do it.
Back.
I appreciate it.
Okay, well, keep in touch. Let's do another interview. We have so many things coming up with the IDW universe. Anytime you want to chat again, give me a shout. I'm glad to chat with you and spread the good word, because there's lots of fun stuff coming up.
Great. Thank you.
There we go. That was Kevin Eastman making his debut as new guest host. There's a couple of people I want to reach out for interviews. I think it should be a new thing that we do.
We've been talking about it for a while, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, reaching out to people, really.
That's on your end. You're the producer.
Yeah. And maybe, I'm surprised they even answered this one. I sent them the most awkwardly worded email.
Hi, you do podcast, please? Thank you, Zach.
Oh, that would have been better, actually. But from there, we're going to move into the final segment of the show, where we do a review of The Defenders. Which really mentioned that. It's The Defenders.
The Defenders.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
So you watched all of it.
No. I believe last week
okay.
you gave me carte blanche to not have to watch all of it.
I think you said, do I have to? I said, if it's bad, you don't have to.
And it wasn't necessarily that it was bad. It was just I got lost. So I'm going to preface my thoughts on it by saying I feel like if you haven't watched all of Iron Fist, all of Jessica Jones, all of Daredevil, and all of Luke Cage, you might not fully understand everything and what's going on, where all the motivations are.
So As we do with everything, we'll start off non-spoilers, get into spoilers. Except for one thing I just kind of want to spoil up front. It's nothing about the show. If anything, it's about what's not in the show. One of the trailers they had for this show was they snuck the Punisher in at the end of one of the trailers. We're like, the Punisher. You know who's not in any of this?
The Punisher?
Yeah, not what was that? What was that tease?
That was called exactly what you said, a tease.
Was you teasing the trailer at the end of the credits for the last episode? Where was he?
You know what it probably did? Is it probably gave people in the middle hope that maybe there's the Punisher coming.
Yeah,
because that's the episode. People might watch it just saying, I just want to see if the Punisher's in this episode. Well, they get to episode 8 and they're like, oh, no Punisher? You sons of bitches. Ooh, a Punisher trailer.
I kind of forgot about that. I got to about like episode 6 and I'm like, where is he? Is he gonna show up? No, he doesn't.
No Punisher.
Weird that was in a trailer.
Anyway.
I mean, it was just a shot of him by himself. I forget what he says. Something like, I'm here to help you defend things. He wasn't.
No, he wasn't there. He didn't show up.
So what are your thoughts for the first almost half?
I think it takes a while. I think for someone, if you haven't watched all of the other shows or have a base knowledge of all the other characters, it feels like you pick up in each of their worlds a little bit.
I thought it was it's a very lovely season of Daredevil season 3 because the rest of them don't get a ton of play comparatively.
I mean, the main run is through Daredevil. There's a lot of Daredevil, a lot of Matt Murdock stuff. But I thought one of the things I liked is that they all had their each kind of individual story. It's not like all of a sudden they all just were like met in a back alley while they were fighting. But like, who are you? Oh, who are you? Although we did get that with Iron Fist and Luke Cage, but still, I liked that they all kind of had their own separate story path. But I still couldn't figure out, like, again, I feel like I'm going to finish it. I was entertained, and I feel like it'd be fun to watch the rest of it.
Well, I'm going to spoil the end for you.
That's fine. I'll still probably not watch the whole rest of it anyway, but at least I want to, like, save face and say I was thinking about watching the end of it.
That's crossed my mind.
What do Luke Cage and Jessica Jones care about the hand? Granted, she gets sucked in because of her private eye stuff, and Luke Cage is just being the hero of Harlem, but
he wants to protect the community.
I get why, like,
there
Iron
was
Fist.
That earthquake.
There was that earthquake, yes.
You don't like that.
Well, neither did Matt Murdock.
No.
Neither did most of the people in Hell's Kitchen, for that matter.
The first couple episodes, they had the same director for the first two, and it wasn't just him. It was really present in the first half of the series. They were trying so damn hard to make it look like cinematic and big. Those first two episodes, that camera doesn't stop moving. It's just spinning in circles. They're taking all these like shots like through things and trying to make it as fancy as they can. Like, just slow the hell down. Get a good script. Just shoot it. It's fine. You can have good shots, but they were just trying so hard in like every single scene. Like, geez, guys, calm down. Go to a more base level thing. Tell a decent story. In fact, maybe cut out some of these episodes because it takes a little while to get going.
It does. I mean, the first two episodes, there's nothing. Sure, we get a little bit of an interaction at the end of the second episode between Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but I mean, outside of that, there's not a whole lot of interaction.
No,
the first quarter of the series is just continuations of their stories.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 episodes probably could have been condensed into 2. Cut out a lot of stuff in the middle. Because you get to the end of the second episode, you're like, when are we doing this? What's going on here? We're just getting like these little vignettes following people. And they're trying to be like super artsy about it. Like, it's
like real world Defenders.
Luke Cage in a flickering hallway. Now we're going to see Jessica Jones in a flickering hallway, but not actually tell you that these are different hallways.
Oh, and Luke Cage is having wild rompous sex again.
Yeah. They took no time getting his shirt off.
No, Jessica Jones being alcoholic still.
They took no time
getting her boozed up.
Yeah, I guess.
And they took no time to continue to have Iron Fist be annoying.
Awful.
And
the show opens with them. I'm like, ooh, weakest foot forward.
Yeah.
Maybe not how you start.
You know what that was? That was saying, if you have any expectations, we're about to lower them so we overachieve here.
They were really banking on Iron Fist being more popular, I think, because part of the problem with the show like this is they don't have time for feedback into course control. They were, I think, basically done by the time Iron Fist came out.
Well, I think that's also...
And Iron Fist
you said, that's one of the downfalls of getting, like this... I'm trying to think of there probably is a term for it, and I should know it, but, like, this, like, binge releasing of TV series. Because, like you said, there's no chance for, like, reaction and course control. Like, with a normal TV series run where it's week to week, you can gauge where the audience is at, and you can... I mean, granted, the writers have a story that they want to tell, and they have a general theme and an arc, but sometimes in order to maintain that show and in order to draw fans in, you need to alter the course of the story or change the way that you're telling the story a little bit and create more character depth. And we really don't, in the first 3 episodes, it was the same Danny Rand. Oh, it's the hand. Very whiny, very
bad
awkward.
At this point, I'm not even sure if it's him or if it's just the dialogue they're giving him, because they give him this dialogue that no one could convincingly deliver. Like, gets beaten up, because he gets beaten up about 17,000 times in the show, which is cathartic in its own right. But he's sitting there, he's like, the next time I face that warrior, I will be able to defeat them. Like, who talks like that? He doesn't talk like a person. He talks like a robot.
Yeah,
everyone else is talking normally around him. He's just sitting there.
He is a victim of bad writing.
He's also terrible with stunt work. If you ever look at anything he's doing, he's just the worst.
But it's just like...
And he's supposed to be the best martial artist there.
Like, I get that his job is, like, his role in life is to end the hand, but he's just so, like, annoyingly perseverating on that. Like, it's like, there is nothing but the hand, and I will not rest until I defeat the hand. And it's like...
Well, he also says,
what is his, like...
I'm the immortal Iron Fist about 30 times.
The other thing that, like, for me is,
Stop saying that.
Yeah, I get that Danny's motivation as Iron Fist is to end the hand, but what's Danny's motivation? Like, what's Danny really about? Like,
getting beat up a lot, being dumb, being real dumb.
Yeah, it's like...
Everything
it's like having that friend that obsesses over one thing, and that's all they talk about, that's all they can focus on, and that's all they will ever say, talk, or do.
The immortal Iron Fist. How do you say that straight? How do you say that convincingly? I am the immortal Iron Fist.
Well, if you're the immortal Iron Fist and you believe you're the immortal Iron Fist, man.
Doesn't even have the Iron Fist half the time. He can't get it up. But aside from Iron Fist, the end of the show is really weird, and I'll get into that in spoilers. It was one of those things, I watched it and I totally accepted it, and then I started to thinking about it, like, what was that? They went to a place.
But
I enjoyed it overall. It's a good show.
Yeah. I think it's still very formatic. I like that they get a big name kind of star, and Sigourney Weaver.
Guess how old she is?
She's got to be in her late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, 67.
Yeah.
Insane. She looks amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is no Dana, only Zool.
She has a fight scene at one point, and
yes.
I bought it. Overall, it's an enjoyable show. It didn't have like the standout fight, with the exception of even Iron Fist had like one big standout.
The hallway fight was pretty good.
It's fine, but there's always a hallway fight in these shows, and it's been done better every single time.
It's an easy thing to shoot. It's right in the same space. It's a static space. There's not a whole lot going on elsewhere.
I was watching the show with my wife, and they were doing the hallway fight, and right before they actually got into the hallway, she laughed at the TV. She goes, "Oh, they thought this was good, didn't they?"
Oh, wow. You must be rubbing off on her.
Because they Luke Cage and Danny Rand give each other this knowing nod and a smile and a wink, and then she's like, "Oh, they thought this was good." It wasn't.
What were your thoughts on I forgot my question. I had it. It was there, and now it's gone.
Foggy Nelson's haircut, slick, looks good.
Thank you. Took the words right out of my mouth.
I thought that's what you were going for. Most of the character interactions work, and they didn't have the slump in the middle. The whole plot, Stick shows up, and he's been real secretive about this ever since Daredevil season 1. There's a war coming, Maddie. You just could have told him what it was. He knows what it is. There's just a thing. There's a big hole, and there's a thing under the hole, and he knows exactly what it is. He could just tell him.
Was it just me, or did the members of the Hand become just more nondescript villains that you really didn't care about, like henchmen?
Yeah, they don't really matter. And what I was waiting for...
They're there for one reason and one reason only. To get beat up.
And Sigourney Weaver's character, the best of my knowledge, has no basis in anything. I kept on waiting for them to be but she's really this, haha. No, she's just a lady they made up.
She's one of those morphing things. What was that thing?
A xenomorph?
No, not an alien.
Well, she was an alien that one time in Alien 4 when she was a clone of herself.
I get that. No, what's the thing that you think one of the Avengers is?
Oh, a Skrull.
Oh, yeah.
She's a Skrull.
Yeah.
She could be.
See? See, I know what's up.
They could all be Skrulls.
Oh, my. It's not what you think. What a great plot device that they invented. Oh, you know what? We want to hit the reset button? Skrull.
Yeah. They were a Skrull. It's fine.
And you know what that makes you? Shook. You read that, you're like, oh, and you're shook. To use the words of the kids.
Overall, it's enjoyable. It's quick. Having it only be 8 episodes makes it easy to watch. I'd say sit down and do it. On our review system of see it in theaters, red box it, or don't waste your time. It doesn't apply here. We should get a new rating system. I say see it in theaters on your TV.
Here we go for TV series. How about binge it, pick away, find something else.
Yeah, just watch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. It's not...
I don't see the need to spoil it. I don't think we need to tell everyone what happens.
Oh, I need to talk about what happens.
Okay. You need to have a therapy session?
Spoilers.
Okay.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Let's start with the good. I like where it ends. And the show does something that I didn't think was possible. It made me excited about the possibility of more Iron Fist.
Really?
Yeah, it ends... Cause it looks like it's going to be leading in... Because it looks like he's going to be playing part of the Daredevil story. The end of the show, again, full spoilers here, Daredevil has a building dropped on him. And before
Ouch.
that happens, he like whispers to Danny, he's like, take care of my city. And they see Danny at the end, like taking Matt's... It looks like he's going to be taking Matt's place. That's going out of an Ed Brubaker arc. It's one of my favorite Daredevil runs. Matt goes to prison, and to cover for Daredevil not being Matt, Danny dresses up as Daredevil and goes out and fights crime. So if they're connecting those dots with that Daredevil run, great, do that. And it looks like there's also going to be another Daredevil run going when he meets his mother, mostly because she's there.
Matt Murdock's mother?
Yeah,
Oh.
Maggie, a nun. I don't know how he got out from under that collapsed building. The nuns got him, I guess.
He's a Skrill.
He's a squirrel. That's the answer.
The building was a Skrill.
The whole time. Iron Fist is an idiot. Like, the whole thing is about, like, they need your fist to open this door. And he's like, I'll never join you. And they're like, you're going to open it. And then he gets into a fight and punches the door. Idiot. So clearly what they were trying to do.
Gee, that sounds a lot like Thor and Ragnarok in the comics. I need you to do this. I'm going to create weather. Oh, look what you've done. You've created a portal for us. Thank you.
But it was like, what are you doing? You're so bad at this. And everyone beats him up. Stick calls him a thundering dumbass, which I appreciated.
Ooh, now I'm going to watch just for that.
Jessica Jones by far is the best line. Matt comes up behind her and she's like, She's like, if you grab me again, I'm going to punch you so hard you'll see.
I like that.
It was a good line.
I like Jessica Jones' character. She's kind of fun.
She was fun in this. She really got to just take the piss out of everything.
Yeah.
And just be like, this is all stupid and I hate you all.
When she comes across all that C4, she opens the bitch like, son of a bitch.
When they showed the C4, I wasn't sure if it was Coke. It was like, is that Coke or C4? They didn't show it like straight on.
No, it was definitely explosives.
Well, it could have been bricks of cocaine.
I don't know. I've never encountered a brick of cocaine. Nor have I ever encountered a stick of C4, so I really guess I can't.
Hell of a time.
Yeah. What? Whoa.
Either one.
I mean, I've had some firecrackers in my possession, a couple of Roman candles, a potato cannon.
I like going into this Misty Knight. I'm like, I really like her. She's really good. You know what my problem with her is?
What?
2 arms. That's one too many for Misty Knight.
She should have one arm?
She has a robot arm in the comics because she lost an arm. And they teased it in Luke Cage, like they shot her in the arm. They're like, see, we almost did it. We almost took the arm off. And in this, I'm like, yeah, okay.
You jerks.
So they just cut it off. I'm like, all right. And then at the end, they're like, we're giving you a robot arm. I'm like, all right.
See?
Robot arm.
They follow through.
Yeah. Give her a robot arm. Give everyone a robot arm.
And they need to have the robot arm in space with dinosaurs.
Preferably.
There you go.
And then the whole point of all of this, what every season has been building towards, there's a dragon underneath New York City, a skeleton of a dragon, and its bones hold up the city, so if they take out the bones, New York will collapse, but his bones will make them immortal? Why is there a dragon?
Because, why not?
I'm also getting annoyed. They keep teasing dragons in this world. Going all the way back to the first Iron Man movie. Like he's flying around the city, they show a marquee poster for the Fin Fan Foom movie. He's a dragon that wears booty shorts.
Wow.
Literally, yeah, that's for some reason. But
with a name like Fin Fan Foom. Foom, sorry.
Yeah, they've been teasing it since
My
Iron
apologies.
Man. Are you looking up dragon and booty shorts
I
now?
kind of am, yeah.
And then in Iron Fist, the entire time, they're like, there was a dragon. He had to fight a dragon. What did we see? We see 2 glowing eyes. No dragon. This time, they're like, there's a dragon. What do we see? Skeleton. Stop telling me there's dragons and don't show me a dragon.
You want a dragon.
I do want a dragon. Stop talking about him. Stop kind of showing me one.
But why is the dragon wearing pants?
Hide his junk. He's modest.
But there's other
Or
images of
embarrassed.
him not wearing pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, all that being said, it's still a good show. It's just, and I enjoyed the end of it. But then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, there's a dragon? And why didn't Stick just say that? He didn't have to be all cryptic. He could just be like, they're trying to get some bones of a dragon. Yeah, I know, it sounds weird on paper. Roll with it. It's gonna kind of work.
I'm just Fin Fang Foom kind of. Maybe it is Fin Fang Foom.
Maybe it is him. Maybe he's dead before we ever saw him.
Well, maybe he's gonna come back to life.
Then they got the stuff. They got what they were looking for. So I guess
Without tearing the city apart.
yeah. So the hand wins, kind of. So, I mean, they had a building destroyed, but they got the stuff. So who cares?
But the city didn't fall in, so they kind of like it's like
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. The bad guys continue on, and the city is saved.
Kind of. Yeah, that's the Defenders. Oh, I enjoy it. It's not bad. I want to not take a quarter of the show to not know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Did you like the shorter format?
Yeah, a lot better.
The eight episodes was enough?
Yeah, definitely. There was no slump. If anything, the slump came at the beginning. Like, the first episode ends with just, like, Matt staring off into space. I'm like...
What is he looking at?
Well, nothing.
I know, that's the joke.
But I'm like, good episode break, I guess? He's just looking off. Cool. That really makes you want to go back for the next one.
I did like the end of the first episode, like, I'm Matt Murdock, I'm your lawyer. And then they never really flushed that out.
No. Then all the law stuff went away, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's like they set this big thing up, and then there's like nothing.
That's the Defenders. They're defending about. And this week we're going to skip letters. We'll keep it to a 3-segment show. We're going to skip letters next week, too. I have another thing I want to do.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's not going away. It just happens to be 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. Well, here, I'll answer a question everyone's begging to ask me. Who's going to win the Conor McGregor-Floyd Mayweather fight? And I see it going one of two ways. It could be that they just dance around for the whole distance, and Mayweather wins on points. It could be an off chance that McGregor actually like lands a punch or two and like hurts him. But I think as much as I'd love to see Conor McGregor win, Floyd Mayweather's going to win this fight. There you go. Although I would love to be proved wrong. I don't know what I would do except for be like, wow, that was incredible if McGregor like knocks him out in the first round.
Yeah, but now he's just going to retire and be rich forever.
Well, he could. Yeah. Well, they both could. They both didn't need this fight for money.
But if you want to find the show, everything can be found at editorsnotecomics.com, over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to get this show a day early, go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this every single week, every single day early.
By the way, Saturday, big day at the store.
Oh yeah, I should mention that.
You probably should. It's a big day at the store on Saturday.
Steve Levine will be up signing from 1 to 4. We're doing a massive sale that day. There's going to be a raffle, going to be some giveaways for kids. I bought a bunch of trinkets.
Oh, yes, you did talk about buying the trinkets.
I went into Party City. They're like, what are you looking for? I'm like, trinkets and crap. They're like, oh, so this aisle.
Oh, wow. Does it actually say above the aisle trinkets and crap?
I think it said party accessories.
Close enough. Now we know that party accessories are trinkets and crap.
But they're really for kids. But I got a bunch of stuff for kids. So yeah, that's all happening Saturday.
Toys for the kids.
And I guess that's it. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Blueberry, Stitcher, other podcasting places. Check us out.
By the way, if I wanted to go to this thing, it's 210 Water Street in Hollowell.
Oh yeah.
You might want to tell people where this is.
Come to me.
Yes.
It'll be a good time.
Also, Patreon. Don't forget Patreon.
I already said that.
Oh, did you? You didn't mention the other show. Buffy Back Issue Bin.
Yeah, another show I do. You get that a whole week early.
Yeah.
With that same $1. That $1 goes a long way. That gets you an extra, 8 hours of content early.
It's the best bang for your buck.
It's a lot of content.
It is. Did you see, by the way, speaking of bang for your buck, they announced the release date for Super Troopers 2?
No, did they?
April 20th.
Of course. And you're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich.
I guess that'll do it for this week. Next week we'll be back because it's Kirby's birthday.
And we're also doing Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Kirby.
I'm reading. Oh, so that's why I'm reading the Fantastic Four, because of Jack.
Yeah, you're doing the most famous Fantastic Four run of all time.
The Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, we'll be back.
I know what's up. I'm a smart boy.